Got more breaking transfer news. Again, it's an outgoing, but this time potentially from Tottenham, and it's a big one as well because it's their captain, Cristian Romero. We understand Atlético Madrid are in talks with Tottenham about signing Romero. However, although the two clubs have been discussing the numbers and the figures of what this deal would be, Spurs are yet to receive a formal offer. Atletico have wanted him for quite some time, and he is expected to leave Tottenham this summer. Roberto De Zerbi earlier in the summer said that he wouldn't stand in Romero's way if he wants to leave. We have been saying that Inter Milan are also keen. They are, but they need to get rid of a few players to be able to afford to buy Romero, whereas Atletico Madrid are a little bit further along in the process because they're making progress with selling Matteo Ruggeri, who could be going to Aston Villa, and Nahuel Molina is expected to join Roma. And once they go through, they will have the finances to get Romero from Tottenham, and Spurs currently have plenty of centre-backs in there. So Romero, their captain, could go. All right, so that's breaking news just into us. Darren Ambrose, let's talk about Cristian Romero then. It's strange, isn't it, that he was such a key player for Tottenham. He's their captain, signed a new deal until 2029. Yet it doesn't seem to be a surprise that he's leaving.
No, it doesn't. And I'm very much in the camp of if he wants to leave, then don't stand in his way. Yes, he's the captain of Spurs. Sometimes a little bit of a liability in terms of red cards. I think he's got 6 red cards for Spurs, so he misses a lot of games. I think there was a moment he came back after a suspension, got another red card, was suspended again, and you don't want that for your captain. You don't. And they've already, I say they, obviously I'm a Spurs supporter, already got Senesi through the door, Van Hecke through the door, Van der Ven discussing a new contract has been reported. Don't stand in his way. 2029, I believe his contract is out,
yeah,
so
correct.
Get as much money as possible for him. Maybe go back into the transfer market, look at a forward player, because I think we've got a lot of cover with Kevin Danso as well. I think there's a lot of cover in centre-half. Give Mickey van der Ven the captain, the armband, let him be the leader, which is what he was last season in terms of he was a leader without the armband. And just say thanks for your help, thanks for everything you've done, Cristian, but see you later.
It looks like, because Tottenham have spent a lot of money, it looks like they are backing Roberto De Zerbi by saying, well, you bring your players in, we'll recap money after we've got the players in, because you've already said, Senesi, OK, he was free, but Van Hecke is in, so centre-backs sorted, now you can get rid of one, and it looks like it's Romero.
Yeah.
Is that good business to do it that way?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Replace before you get rid, if you have the finances, if you have the backing to do that, because you never know who's going to come in, you never know what's going to happen, who's going to accept. Is Senesi going to come in? Is Van Hecke going to come in? The fact they have, which frees up an opportunity to get rid of one, out of the 2, out of the 3, Danso, Van der Ven and Romero, I think Romero is the first choice for me as a Spurs supporter, and I'm sure I speak for a few other Spurs supporters that he'd be the one that we want out the door before the other 2.
Do you think that Tottenham have still got a lot to do between now and deadline day? Ins and outs?
Outs, potentially, yes, outs, potentially. I think, as you just said, the centre-halves are sorted, defensive line is sorted. Look, there's reports of, obviously, Jed Spence discussing a potential move away. Hopefully that's not true, because I think he was fantastic in the World Cup, and I think he'll offer a lot to Spurs. So, a forward player, I think, is massive for Spurs.
Actual striker or wide?
An actual striker. Look, Dom Solanke's been injured for a lot last season, and it's probably a little bit harsh on him, but Richarlison, I don't think, is a player, neither is Dom Solanke, that's going to take Spurs to the next level. And I'm not talking a little bit of banter here, where the next level is 16th or 15th in the Premier League. Yes, it's been terrible last couple of seasons, but I think you need a forward player that's going to push you on, because you've got the midfield now. James Maddison potentially coming back. Hopefully he's going to be fully fit. Kulusevski, we've seen he's on the grass now, he's training. Hopefully he stays fully fit as well. So you've got the midfield, you've got the players that can influence play, that can set up chances. You need players to finish them off. And Dominic Solanke, although I think Roberto De Zerbi will like him, his work rate, his high press, I think he'll like him. Can he stay fit? Richarlison, I think, may be one that should be looked to be moved on, and then get a top-class forward that can then Spurs can look and think, right, we spent a lot of money, have to be competing for Europe next season, have to.
It's been said now they've spent a lot of money. It is worth noting that they have recouped quite a lot as well. Yeah, Colomwani's wages will have gone, for instance, because he's not alone there anymore. Vuskovic, 50 million. Will Lancashire, 20 million.
Yep.
Tynan Thompson, £8 million. Alejo Velis, 8 million. And Alfie Devine, 6 million as well. So is this the start of Tottenham selling well as buying well?
I hope so. I hope so, because that's never been the case. Under Daniel Levy's tenure, of course, people question how are they spending this money, and it's not fair on the Aston Villas, the Newcastles, and you just mentioned the money that's coming back in, but it's also the tenure that Daniel Levy left behind, the legacy that he's left behind. Of course, you can question if he backed previous managers, Pochettino, etc. Would Spurs be further on than where they are now? More trophies? Who knows? But he's left it in a real good, comfortable position. The fact that Spurs have rarely spent in the last few windows allows them to spend this kind of money under these the financial fair play rules. Hopefully, we're going to see more of this. Sell well, buy well, and push Spurs back up to the top sixes where they belong and competing for European places in the league.
Yeah, it's a